Yo, on it and three, two, one. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another podcast of the Goober Studios. My name is Goober, and this is the podcast where we don't talk about coffee, but we drink it. And today is another beautiful morning in Kuala Lumpur. It's very rainy today. I love it. The weather is great. It is 9:45 a.m. And on today's episode of this rant, I just recently woke up about an hour ago and I feeling super tired. I got enough sleep, but I'm like, wow, why am I feeling so tired? And I'm like, okay, maybe I should shoot a video. And on one hand, I was like, maybe I shouldn't. And I sat there thinking for a while, and I really didn't want to do this. But then I remember that every time I never wanted to do something and I had to blast through it, and it didn't take that much willpower. Honestly, all I did was just make a cup of coffee, and I was like, all right, I'm ready to start recording. Um, and every time I've ever done that, I've always felt better afterwards. And this is exactly how I feel right now. I feel good. Like it's only been 1 minute, and I feel great. And every idea or thought that I had resisting against this is now gone. And a lot of this has had to do with what I was downloading into my brain the past 48 hours. So I've been looking at exchange websites for the past 24 hours. I've been trading. I've been really loving this new coin called Synthetics Token. If you haven't heard of it, you might want to check the prices. The thing might go up to $5, in my opinion. I've made a lot of money off of it. You should give it a try. Another thing is I've been listening to a lot of real social dynamics by Owen Cook. You can find on YouTube with all the best videos. And one of I was been going back to his old videos, and one of the most recent ones that I watched last night was about how to overcome insecurity. And a lot of sorry, not insecurity, being needy. A lot of being needy comes from instead of so what most people try and do to overcome neediness is they will tell themselves, I'm going to try harder to not be needy. I'm going to try stopping to be needy. And ultimately, what that does is it makes it harder to not be needy. Whereas another way to reframe it, which he gave me, is maybe if you nurture yourself enough and give yourself enough self nurture, there won't be room for neediness. And part of neediness comes from having an empty cup, or thinking that someone else can fill your cup for you or make you feel good. So instead of trying to stop being needy, what you should consider instead is nurturing yourself, filling your own cup so that you never really need anyone else. And that problem almost seems to fix itself. So, what does this have to do with social anxiety? What does this have to do with talking to a camera? Well, one thing for certain is that I like I've mentioned in previous episodes, is very uncomfortable to have to change your internal state and have to do things that have to get you out of your default state. You think I wake up like this? You think I'm like, what up, everybody? No, I'm pretty tired when I wake up. I'm pretty slow. I do the lowest cognitive task possible, which is looking at my screens and my tasks, because it's the lowest energy investment I can do, which is moving my eyes. I don't even talk. I don't even text. I'm just looking at things because it's the least I can do. And now, a long time ago, I used to wake up and I'd have some water and I'd start reading a book because, again, same thing. I'm just moving my eyes. And I don't know what else to do for the first 1 hour after waking up because you're so groggy. I mean, I'm definitely not going to do work. I'm just really starting my engines up. And sometimes I just sit in the balcony, honestly. But yeah, I change it every now and then. But anyways, so just before going live, I was thinking about what Owen had said about nurturing yourself and how it's important to really go after what you want, so that when you meet people, when you're, let's say, shooting a video, you can, because you're already self nurtured, you can exude that out onto everybody else. So me waking up, having my coffee, just letting things go by, watching the rain, and kind of just thinking about this, and then realizing, oh man, I'm feeling kind of a grudge to post a video, even though I do have something to share. I'm just like, man, I'm just not so into it. Can I even bring out my energy? But the moment you do it, you just boom, boom, and it comes out. And then you're actually able to share some of the power coming out, because you it's really hard to explain. Even I don't have the right words for this, which is why I keep recommending you to watch Owen, because he's great at these things and articulating these thoughts. And one of them that I've learned through why I think it's important to actually do this podcast and to share these random ideas and to go on 20-minute long rants is because by doing that, for me at least, it's a form of nurturing myself. So I'm not here trying to convince you of things and trying to get you to fall in love with my ideologies, because ultimately that's kind of seeking your approval. So ultimately what I'm doing is I'm nurturing myself by helping myself with these videos help me, and in turn help you, because I'm now nurturing myself, putting myself in an upward spiral, being able to share that with you, and you're getting to feed off of that energy that I'm giving off, right? So how does making videos nurture me? How does it help me uh, feel better? One way is being able to vent out my ideas, and it actually lowers the frequencies in my head and the thoughts and the rapidness. It lowers it out. A second thing is it gets rid of social conditioning. So one theory I like to have is that everybody is stuck in one form of social conditioning, one way or another. And part of that social conditioning is what's stopping us from being happy. It's what's been implemented on us through corporations, through marketing, through institutions, through what your parents have told you, and is technically what it's doing is blocking your higher self from yourself. So part of getting into that is through social dynamics. And what I mean by that is almost all these things that are blocking your happiness comes from a fear of rejection, a fear of being isolated, not being loved, abandonment, uh, just little tons of micro traumas on top of you, a lot of things. And part of social dynamics is getting out of that. But how do you get out of that? One, you've heard me say this: take so much action, it stops the thinking mind. And in the world of social dynamics, what that means is, let's say you're at a party, or let's say you're at an event, or you're just trying to make new friends. um Now it's been scientifically proven that rejection spikes stress in the body. Rejection causes a spike of stress within your body. So it's no wonder people are so afraid of rejection. It's because it hurts, it's stressful. We don't want it. Whereas positive social interaction gives you the exact opposite. So they increase serotonin. Okay, this positive social interaction increase serotonin, GABA receptors. They increase your bandwidth to receive information, um, and because of these things, it 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 actually lowers your thinking mind and lets uh, your default state of happiness actually come out. So that's what's so crazy, is that on the inside we're actually very, very good. We're actually very happy, but social conditioning blocks that because it keeps you thinking in this individual pod that happiness is outside of you, versus realizing the truth of you're actually already whole. And when you get rid of these things, and okay, social interaction is one of the ways. There's plenty of ways. Uh people use exercise, people use meditation, people use psychedelics. There's tons of things. I'm just saying, like, these are the closest um experiences that I've heard people share that are similar to what you get from social dynamics. So how does that translate into video? So when I first started making a video, which was about 4 years ago, I noticed that the moment I flipped on the camera and I saw that light blink on, I froze up. Okay. Now I was in a park in Spain. I was in a park trying to shoot a video. There was nobody around, but I was feeling major anxiety of like I remember trying to record and I was like, hello, my name is today's topic is about fear. Now, if you're gonna be afraid, just like that, why? I don't know. But later, as looking through it, I realized that my brain was making a direct correlation between the camera and, let's say, almost public speaking. Now, why is that? And this, really messed with me for a while because on one hand, I knew it's just a camera. Why am I feeling anxiety? A second thing, what I realized was, well, why do people record anything? It's to be viewed later, right? Basically, if you're making a video, it means you're making an archive that's going to be viewed either by you, by someone else, or da da da. And it's almost like my brain knows this on the back of its mind, and the anxiety comes up because it's literally fear of judgment. Even though I might be you can see my beautiful eyes. Even though I might be uh like what was I saying? Judgment. Even though I'm the only one watching the video, it still relates. It's almost as if it thinks you're going on stage and it's public speaking. And it's the same fear I feel if I'm about to go and try and make friends with somebody random. It's that fear of rejection. It's the same fear of rejection. It's the same emotions of social anxiety because we've tied, speaking to a camera or social media means that anybody can see this. We're talking to the world. This is nerve wracking. Ultimately, what is it? Why are you afraid? Because you're afraid of being judged. Why? Because people might like me, people might not like me. If they don't like me, then, well, dopamine goes down, stress goes up. So, part of why talking to a camera will help with social anxiety is because you've made these correlations already. Just open a camera, try and record something. You'll notice you'll feel a form of stifledness. But when you can get through that stifledness, when you can talk with freely and keep on going, and it eliminates those judgments and fears, and ultimately you realize like, oh my god, I feel really good right now, just like how I feel good right now because I've shut off my mind. I'm not in that morning state of like, oh, what's going to happen today, what's this and what's that. And usually I don't even look at video stats is because I don't want to know. I don't even want to get into the frame of thinking what people think about these videos. If they love them, great. If they don't, well, that's not going to stop me, right? And when you develop this form of resilience, now I know what you're thinking. Digital stuff versus offline stuff are not the same. How can you compare? And it's true. When you have a million haters online, you're less likely to take it as seriously than a million people in the street shaming you, right? That obviously being in the street, being shamed by millions of people is way more traumatic than some online comments because you don't know people online. You don't know whether it's a bot or a troll. Like there's this disconnect, and but I'm not. It still makes a difference when you're able to. If you can't go out every day and talk to people, then the best thing you have is probably talking in front of a camera, and getting good at that can actually have tremendous upsides to your life. You become a better public speaker, you become a better salesman, you become better at improv, you learn how to exude energy or put people in a state you want them to be in because you can't expect people to just fall into your frame. Like no one's going to help you achieve what it is you want to achieve. You've got to help people fulfill their outcomes and in order to fulfill your own. And that's a very abundant mindset. It's a very win-win situation thinking. So if you can get comfortable talking in front of a camera, you will be dealing with the similar anxiety. Look, your brain has no context to what's going on. To your brain, it's social pressure against social pressure against social pressure. That's all it's seeing. So you combat this, and the real life will be a lot easier. You'll be way more likely to be able to jump through that because you're building that muscle of not being stifled to fear or anxiety. You're training yourself to continuously plunge into cold water. Again, RSD Tyler, Real Social Dynamics, Owen Cook elaborates on this in a ways I could never ever do. So check him out if you're interested in what I'm talking about. Another thing is once you get used to jumping into this cold water and coming out of your refrigerator hum of a mind, that's when you start to feel good. And this comes back to nurturing yourself. So one of the best ways to be in an enlightened state is to actually give yourself the things that you need, so you're full. And when you're full, you don't need things from other people. If I was making this video while needing your views, while needing your sponsorships or your subscribes or your likes or your notification bells or what you guys thought of me, if this was already a popular podcast and I was making these videos to suit the validation that other people have given me, I'm ultimately building a crutch. So what this lets me do is build the resiliency to be able to talk about the ideas that I feel are valuable, that have helped me, right? Asking nothing in return from you, so that you get deeper and deeper in touch with your authentic self. You feel happier, you get on your purpose, you're more nurtured, and you just end up building a great life for yourself. So social anxiety is one of the biggest exercises you can overcome, and it will give you. And by the way, if you want to know where social anxiety comes from, yes, fear of judgment, fear of that. Now, I've heard this so many times from Gary Vaynerchuk, but it's never really fully clicked until this morning. And I'm like, holy shit, it really is fear of judgment, because your caveman brain. Okay, here's listen to this for a second. It's gonna blow your mind. Okay, your fear of judgment and rejection from people comes from this very simple idea. As a hunter-gatherer group of 150 people, or okay, maybe it's not from that far. I'm not too good with the details, but basically, from an evolutionary standpoint, when someone raises in social hierarchy, the chances of them getting killed become higher. Okay, so the reason you're afraid to speak up, the reason you're afraid of the spotlight, is because your caveman brain thinks that, oh my god, if I rise in status, because look, speaking up, providing value, this raises you in status. Positive social validation from people. Let's say people are loving your stuff, and let's say in terms of online, they're subscribing. This raises your status. Or let's say in a group setting, you speak up, everybody tunes in, your status goes up. Your status is either going up or going down. Now your caveman brain is terrified of raising its status, because what that means is that more danger from other competitive uh alpha, what do you call that, humans, or just the alpha species. All right, so that's where the anxiety comes from, is you think some guy's going to come with a club and knock you out for being competitive. But in a world like today, that's very unlikely. I mean, sure, the same principles exist, but no one's going to kill you. So this fear is actually stemming from a survival mechanism of trying to protect you. Social anxiety is trying to protect you from rising in status. Look how crazy this is. Your DNA is not up to make you successful. It's not up to make you the best. Your DNA is trying to minimize as much as possible and to keep you alive. And part of that is, reducing pain. Pain is a huge component of your survival mechanism, is to reduce pain, maximize output. Wow. So when you know where your anxiety is coming from, you're now in a more capable position of actually trying to deal with it. And that comes from, you can either start shooting videos, you can go talk to people, and then you'll see the benefits yourself. You'll feel better, just like how I'm feeling better right now. I'm starting my day feeling more relaxed, more at ease, more, in a flow state, because I've let go of the hum in my mind that's just constantly now it's just like, and it's like a radio static. Okay, and I hope that you can draw from these ideas. Again, check out Owen from Real Social Dynamics. I'm running out of things to say here about this topic. Mr. Number One Viewer, I hope you're enjoying this. This is for you. I'm gonna probably sign off with this note. Please, 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 please do start producing your own content. It's very important. It's very important. It's very important for the future and the years that are going to come. I'm going to elaborate on this as to why it's your duty to start posting online. It's it's almost your responsibility to start doing this. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in another video. Um, we're going to go real deep on this. I've been learning a lot about mobile technology. I've been learning a ton about fake news, how technology is impacting our lives, and how it's almost being used as a weapon right now, today. Social media, mobile phones, information is a psychological operation on your mind. And we will elaborate on that on the next episode once I've completed my research and have concrete ideas to share. This is Goober Studios giving you, sending you some good vibrations this beautiful morning. I'm checking out, and I'll catch you on the next journey vlog. What up? What a hip hop. We are done.